was so excited, but she still worried the day Mr. Dawson visited. He was so important. Mari knew that he was a minister and a teacher. She also knew that he worked at the newspaper office, but she didn't even think about that. Even though Mari always hoped to work at a newspaper office, she really thought it was only a dream, because by this time her mummy had told her that no ladies were allowed to be reporters. Mari was growing up, but she was still only a young girl, and she had listened to what her mother had said about lady reporters. She never ever expected what was to come. When Mr. Dawson had politely finished his tea, he asked Mari's mother if he could suggest something to Mari. "Of course, Mari's mummy," he replied. "How would you like it if you came to my newspaper office to help me write down what people say at conferences and news events?" Mr. Dawson added that he didn't know how to write shorthand and that he missed out on very important news because he and his male reporters could not write fast enough. Mari was so shocked she almost spilled her tea, and she couldn't think what to say to this very important man. Mr. Dawson always looked so strict and stern, but he was looking kindly at her. Mr. Dawson continued by also asking Mari if she could write down in shorthand what he said when he was teaching. He said he would love to be able to read exactly what he had said when he was giving a class. It would help him make sure that he wasn't leaving out anything important. Mari glanced at her mother, who was beaming from ear to ear. She was also nodding that she agreed that Mari should accept Mr. Dawson's offers. Finally, Mari found some words. Oh yes, I can do all you're asking. Yes, please, I'd love to do it. Thank you, Mr. Dawson." And without the slightest pause for breath, Mari then asked, "When can I come to your office and start helping you with my shorthand?" "Don't be impolite, Mari," her mother interrupted. "You must wait for Mr. Dawson to ask you when he wants you." "Not at all, my dears," Mr. Dawson interjected. "I would like you to come as soon as you are able, Mari. Work it out with your mother and let me know." Mr. Dawson could see how excited Mari was and how much she wanted to talk about his suggestion with her mother. He thanked them for their delicious bread and jam cake, and then he politely left. "But who will help you in the shop, Mummy?" Maria asked when she was closing the door. "Well, I have another surprise which I was saving for you, Mari." "Guess what?" Mari's mummy beamed. "Uncle Edmund is coming to live with us." Mari could not believe at all what had happened that day. There was so much to look forward to. She could not speak with the excitement, so she took her mummy's hand and they both danced her favourite waltz and around their small room until they both fell on the floor exhausted. What beautiful happy dreams Mari and her mummy had that night.